March 2021. Iceland. After 900 years of silence, the Fagradalsfjall volcano erupts with a fury that lights the sky. But as the lava breaks free from the earth, something else rises too. Two glowing blue orbs appear, silently hovering above the chaos. They don't flicker. They don't flinch. And they don't leave. Some say it was a glitch. Others believe it was a warning. But what if I told you? This wasn't the first time. Not even close. The day fire met the sky. March 19, 2021. Fagradalsfjall volcano roars to life after 900 years of silence. The people of Iceland had waited, scientists had predicted, and finally, the earth responded. A glow erupted from the mountainside, casting molten fire into the night sky. The world watched in awe, captivated by nature's violent beauty. But amid the awe, something impossible happened. A livestream feed, set up to record the eruption for geological study, began to attract a very different kind of attention. Viewers around the world noticed two strange, bright blue orbs hovering above the eruption's plume. They weren't flickering like camera glitches. They weren't birds or ash particles. They were solid, still, radiating. They didn't blink. They didn't move. And they remained there for over 30 minutes. Lava poured beneath them. Toxic gas surrounded them. But the orbs didn't waver. They defied the very physics of the environment. And when observers zoomed in, they saw something that made their blood run cold. The orbs weren't reflecting light, they were emitting it. And not just any light. A strange, electric blue, completely out of place in the infernal red of volcanic fire. So what were they? What kind of machine, or being, or natural phenomenon could survive at the epicenter of one of Earth's most violent events, and watch in silence? The answer, it turns out, may not lie in Iceland alone. Because this wasn't the first time. A global pattern. Orbs in the fire. This strange sighting at Fagradalsfjall wasn't an isolated incident. In fact, it was only the latest in a long, strange, and often ignored pattern of sightings, not just of lights in the sky, but of orbs, hovering or flying directly over volcanic sites. Across the world, volcanoes seem to attract the unexplainable. In Costa Rica, strange lights have long been reported near the Volcano, a stratovolcano known for its frequent eruptions and powerful geothermal activity. In one documented case, a glowing object hovered over the crater for several minutes, seen by both tourists and scientists. Its movements defied wind currents, rising against the ash plume before vanishing at impossible speed. In Mexico, the Popocatépetl volcano, one of the most active in the country, has become infamous for orb sightings. Local news broadcasts have captured unidentified lights entering and exiting the crater. In 2012, a cylindrical object was recorded plunging directly into the volcano, sparking international debate. Was it a meteor, a missile, or something else entirely? Even further back, in 1947, American aviator Kenneth Arnold flew over Mount Rainier, a dormant stratovolcano in Washington state. What he claimed to see sparked the modern era of UFO reporting, a formation of flying saucers. He coined the term, and it happened above a volcano. From ancient myths to modern cameras, volcanoes have always attracted mystery. But why? Why do these natural disasters seem to call out to the skies? Why are so many reports of unexplained aerial phenomena tied to the Earth's most unstable, dangerous places? It's not just a coincidence. And it's not just curiosity. Some believe these visitors aren't just observing. They're harvesting fuel from fire. What if the orbs aren't just watching, but feeding? To understand this theory, you have to grasp the staggering power of volcanoes. A single active volcano can produce more raw energy in a day than some nations consume in a year. The temperature at a volcanic vent can exceed 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. The geothermal forces that power eruptions are tied to tectonic movement, magnetic flux, and chemical combustion. Volcanoes are nature's reactors, unstable, violent, but unimaginably powerful. That's why some theorists suggest that these orbs, these UFOs, aren't just observing volcanic eruptions. They're tapping into them, drawing energy, refueling, perhaps even stabilizing themselves using the intense magnetic fields found in these geological hot zones. Darcy Weir, a filmmaker who has spent years documenting strange sightings, believes it's not a coincidence. If these are craft, not natural phenomena, then they need power. And volcanoes have it. What better place to draw energy without alerting anyone? And it's not just theory. There's visual evidence. Orbs maintaining stable hover positions in conditions where no human aircraft could fly. No wings. No visible engines. No propellers. No sound. Just light. And silence. And when the eruption ends, they vanish. As if they got what they came for. But maybe energy isn't the only thing they're after. Maybe volcanoes offer something else. Access. Hidden highways. Are volcanoes portals? There's another theory. One more unsettling. What if the orbs aren't flying above volcanoes, but coming from inside them? Some researchers believe that volcanoes may serve as entrances or exits to underground systems. Not just caves, but complex tunnel networks. Even ancient or alien facilities. It sounds like science fiction, but consider this. Humans have barely explored the vast subterranean regions of our planet. And throughout history, many ancient cultures have told stories of gods, demons, or star beings emerging from mountains, craters, and lava pits. In Indonesia, blue fire is seen in volcanic regions, a phenomenon once attributed to spirits. In Mesoamerica, the god Quetzalcoatl was said to emerge from the smoking mountain. In Japan, Mt. Fuji has long been considered a portal to the spirit realm. Are these just myths? Or ancient encounters, described in the only language people had? Modern theorists suggest that advanced civilizations, alien or otherwise, may have chosen volcanoes as entrances to hidden bases. Why? Because volcanoes are perfect deterrents. No one wants to climb into an active lava flow. No military base will casually explore beneath one. If you needed to hide from an intelligent but primitive species, wouldn't you choose a place they'd never dare explore? Debunking earthly explanations. Before we go deeper into the mystery, we need to do something critical: remove the obvious. Skeptics and scientists have offered explanations for the strange orbs seen above volcanoes. Some of them sound reasonable at first. The most common theory: drones. Geologists frequently use drones to monitor eruptions from a safe distance. They capture heat patterns, gas emissions, and flow rates. So, could the glowing orbs simply be observation drones? On the surface, it's plausible. But there's a problem. The temperature near an erupting vent can exceed 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. Even the air around the lava can reach 500 degrees, hot enough to incinerate most materials, including the lithium-ion batteries that power drones. And then there's the time. The blue orbs at Fagradalsfjall hovered for over 30 minutes, far longer than any commercial or scientific drone could endure in that heat, without failing or falling. So if they're drones, they're built from something we haven't invented yet. What about flashlights? Could these be people on nearby hills, holding lights? Again, plausible, until you consider this. Getting that close to a fresh lava field means standing in an oven. Paper combusts instantly. Clothing melts to your skin. Even seasoned volcanologists only approach these areas with extreme caution and never linger, especially not near an eruption still venting toxic gas. No, these orbs were not tourists. And they weren't part of any geological survey. So if they're not drones, not searchlights, and not camera glitches, what are they? That brings us to another theory, one grounded in science, but still deeply strange. Blue lava. The blue lava theory, and its limits. In some volcanic regions, a rare phenomenon occurs. It's called blue lava, known in Indonesia as OPI biru. But here's the twist. It's not actually lava that's blue. It's burning sulfur gas. When ignited, sulfur emits a stunning electric blue flame, a ghostly light that snakes across the ground, often near active vents. In places like Indonesia's Kawah Ijen volcano, it creates glowing rivers of light that move like supernatural liquid. So maybe, just maybe, the blue orbs in Iceland were burning sulfur, caught on camera? There's a catch. Blue sulfur flames burn along the ground, not in the air. And they don't hover perfectly still 100 feet above a crater. They flicker. They follow the wind. They move like fire. But these Icelandic orbs, they were steady, clean, suspended. And Iceland, unlike Indonesia, is not known for high concentrations of exposed sulfur during eruptions. Even seasoned volcanologists were puzzled. One expert noted, they appear to be flat on the bottom, like they're resting on something. But that something is invisible. So, if they're not fire, not drones, and not tricks of the light, could they be something we're not supposed to understand? The forest crater that shouldn't exist. Let's shift from fire to forest. July 13, 2020. Devon, England. A man named Ben Landricombe is out camping. Nothing strange about that, until he stumbles into something that feels wrong. I walked about 15 minutes into the forest. The woods were dense, silent, but it felt off, eerie, and then it appears. A massive, oval-shaped clearing. Dozens of uprooted trees. Some completely flattened. Others untouched, standing tall, just feet away. Ben films it, posts it online. The video goes viral. Why? Because it doesn't look like anything man-made, and no official agency steps forward to claim it. There are no tire tracks, no cut marks, no heavy machinery. Just a clean, violent clearing, about 60 feet across. Almost like something fell from the sky, or landed. Experts chime in. A journalist compares it to a crop circle, not in shape, but in unnatural precision. Military analysts look at the footage and rule out aircraft. Meteorologists say, yes, microbursts can cause localized damage, but they leave chaotic scars. This was almost surgical. And Ben? He's never gotten an explanation. But he swears by what he felt. A presence. A pressure. Something that wasn't supposed to be there. Another orb, perhaps. Or the aftermath of one. When the orb split itself. Alamance, North Carolina. Independence Day, 2020. A man sits in his backyard watching fireworks. He looks up and freezes. Hovering high above is a glowing orb. Silent. Still. Bright. He grabs his phone and begins recording. For over 8 minutes, the orb remains in the sky. But then, something happens. It splits. One went up and one's coming down, someone says off camera. Then a third orb emerges. 3 distinct lights. All from the same origin. And all defying gravity. They change direction. Move apart. Pulse in brightness. No wings. No engine sounds. No FAA-required lights. Experts review the footage. It's not a bird. Not a drone. Not a balloon. Mark D'Antonio, a video analyst, says, weather balloons don't glow like this. And if they break apart, they don't separate intelligently. This wasn't passive. It looked like it had intent. But atmospheric scientist Deanna Hentz reviews the weather data. And here's the kicker. There were no weather balloons launched in the region that night. No storms. No explanations. Just one orb. That became 3. Is it possible we just captured a birth? A splitting of one craft into multiple? Or something deeper, a transformation? The pattern they refuse to see. Volcanoes. Forests, neighborhood skies. From Iceland to England to North Carolina, the glowing orbs keep showing up. And yet, time and again, officials offer the same tired answers. Probably a drone. Could be a trick of light. Nothing to worry about. But the pattern is impossible to ignore. Let's lay it out plainly. Orbs appearing during extreme environmental events, volcanic eruptions, wind bursts, lightning storms. Orbs appearing high above and deep below, sometimes entering or exiting natural features like craters or cloud banks. Orbs that split into smaller orbs, almost like cells dividing or machines replicating. Orbs that show intelligence in movement, not floating, but choosing. And almost always, no sound, no explanation, no closure. What are the odds that these are all unrelated? Ask yourself, what happens when the same unexplainable object appears again and again, in places of power, destruction, and ancient significance? Here's a deeper theory, one some researchers have begun to explore. These orbs aren't just here to observe. They're here to monitor Earth systems. Volcanoes, fault lines, storm centers, the planet's most unstable points. Not for conquest, but for balance. It may sound far-fetched, but we have to ask, are we really the only intelligence watching the Earth's pulse? Or is there something else, always present, always silent, that's been watching it longer? The mystery of Mount Shasta. To take this deeper, we head to one of America's most mysterious mountains. Mount Shasta, in Northern California. It's technically a dormant volcano, but it's far from inactive in legend. For centuries, Native American tribes spoke of beings who lived inside the mountain. Later, 19th-century spiritualists claimed the area was home to a hidden race known as the Lemurians, survivors of a sunken continent. Modern UFO researchers have documented countless sightings in the skies above Mount Shasta. Glowing orbs, disks, even portal-like lights opening and closing over the summit. Hikers have vanished. Lights have been seen emerging from solid rock. In 2008, a camper recorded what appeared to be a bright orb entering the side of the mountain and simply disappearing. The footage was never explained. Could Mount Shasta, like Fagradalsfjall, be more than it appears? Could it be an access point? A node in a larger network of hidden structures beneath volcanic regions? One geologist, who asked to remain anonymous, offered this chilling observation. There are anomalies under Shasta. Cavities. Chambers. We've seen tremors without tectonic cause. It's like the mountain breathes. If that's true, then the sightings above aren't random. They're part of a system. Lost civilizations and their sky gods. Let's step back in time. Long before satellites, before science, ancient civilizations built their most sacred sites near volcanoes, mountains, and rifts in the earth. But here's what's truly strange. Almost all of them described glowing beings, or sky gods, arriving in chariots of light or fire. The Dogon tribe of Mali told stories of fish-like beings who came from the stars and emerged from mountain caves. The Aztecs and Mayans built temples atop volcanic regions and claimed their gods lived beneath the mountains. In ancient India, the Vedic texts describe flying machines, vimanas, powered by something called mercury vortex engines. They emerged from fiery shafts in the earth. And then there's Mount Olympus, home of the Greek gods. What was it, really? Symbol, story, or ancient memory? Today, we might call these UFOs. Back then, they were gods. Are we seeing the same visitors, just in a different age? And if so, why do they keep returning to the same places? The silent monitors. There's one more possibility, and it's not comforting. What if these orbs are not alien, but artificial? Not craft, but probes, sent from somewhere far away, or somewhen, left to monitor Earth's energy points, geological health, and perhaps its inhabitants. This would explain their silence, their longevity, their focus on volcanic, tectonic, and magnetic anomalies. Some even suggest they're self-replicating, like digital eyes planted across the world. Watching, waiting, recording our progress, or our decline. The orbs don't communicate. They don't intervene. They simply appear where the Earth is hurting or transforming, like immune cells or silent sentinels. And maybe they've been here far longer than we think. They know where to find us. Let's return to that moment in Iceland. Blue orbs, a sky torn open by fire. A camera that caught something we weren't meant to see. People still debate what it was. But one thing is certain. The deeper we look into Earth's most dangerous places, the more watchers we find. They've been with us in storms, in eruptions, in darkness. They arrive when we think we're alone. And they leave before we can speak. So ask yourself, are we discovering them? Or are they letting us? Earned, not forced. If this left you questioning everything, this channel is for you. Subscribe to uncover the buried truths the world forgot. Think more people should know what's happening above our volcanoes? Share this video. Let them see what's been hiding in plain sight. Have you ever seen something in the sky you couldn't explain? Comment below. Your story might be the next one we investigate.